This woman wanted to see you die. She took your picture to a seer and was shocked to learn about you. She thought she held the strings to your fate, that with a single act of malice she could unravel your life. Clutching your photo, she stepped into a dimly lit room, her heart heavy with envy, her eyes sharp with intent. She believed handing your image to someone who could peer beyond the veil would give her power over you, a way to bend your path to her will. But she didn't know the fire she was walking into. The moment your picture touched the seer's hands, the air thickened, heavy with a presence that made the room feel alive. Candles flickered, their flames bending as if pulled by an unseen hand. The walls hummed, a faint vibration that crawled up her spine. She thought she was in control, but the space itself was warning her, "You don't touch a soul like this." The seer's fingers, weathered from years of reading signs, trembled as they traced the edges of your photo. Her eyes, dark and knowing, widened, not at the woman sitting across from her, but at something beyond, something in the air, in the shadows, in the very fabric of the moment. "Who is this?" she asked, her voice low, almost cautious, as if speaking to the empty space beside her, as if the room itself held a presence she couldn't ignore. The woman, smug and certain, leaned forward, whispering your name with a venom that felt like it could poison the air. She thought saying it would seal her victory, mark the beginning of your end. But the moment your name left her lips, the energy shifted. A mirror on the wall cracked, a sharp, splintering sound that echoed like a gunshot in the silence. The woman flinched, her smirk faltering, her confidence shaken. The seer's voice dropped to a whisper, barely audible over the hum of the room. "You shouldn't have brought this here," she said. "This one is protected." The woman laughed, a brittle, nervous sound that didn't reach her eyes. She thought it was a trick, a performance to scare her, a game she could win with her sharp words and sharper intentions. But the seer's face was stone, her gaze locked on something the woman couldn't see, a light, a shadow, a force that filled the space between them. The air grew colder, pressing against her skin like a warning, wrapping around her chest until her breath felt tight. She tried to speak, to demand answers, to push back against the seer's words, but her voice caught, stuck in her throat like it didn't belong in that sacred space. The seer slid your photo back across the table, her hands moving as if it burned to hold it too long. "Leave," she said, her voice sharp now, cutting through the silence like a blade. "You've brought something into this space that doesn't belong. And it's not them, it's you." The woman didn't understand yet. She thought she could brush it off, walk away with her plan intact, her confidence unshaken. She stood, clutching her bag, her fingers tight around the photo she'd brought, now feeling heavier than it should, like it carried a weight she couldn't explain. As she stepped outside, the world didn't feel right. Streetlights flickered as she passed, their glow dimming like they were bowing to something bigger, something she couldn't see. Her phone buzzed in her pocket, glitching, the screen flashing your name in a text she hadn't sent, an email she hadn't opened, a notification she couldn't trace. She told herself it was nothing, just a trick of her mind, a coincidence she could ignore. But that night, when she tried to sleep, the darkness wasn't empty. She felt eyes on her, not yours, but something older, something vast, something that knew her intentions and judged them. She lit candles, their flames sputtering and dying too fast, their smoke curling into shapes she couldn't name, faces, eyes, shadows that moved when she blinked. She whispered words she'd heard from others, words she thought would shield her, but the air stayed heavy, pressing against her like a warning she couldn't escape. She didn't know it yet, but she had awakened something she couldn't put back to sleep. You, meanwhile, are untouched. You might not even know what she did, what she tried. You might be moving through your days, carrying the weight of your own battles, wondering why some moments feel heavier than they should, why some days feel like you're walking through fog. But hear this, someone tried to break you, and they couldn't. They tried to dim your light, and it only grew brighter. They tried to speak your end, and now their own words are turning against them, wrapping around their life like chains they can't break. You don't need to fight. You don't need to shout. Your energy is doing the work, moving in ways you can't yet see, clearing paths you haven't walked, opening doors you didn't know were there, calling forth blessings you didn't know were yours. The seer didn't just see your face in that photo. She saw your path, a road stretching far beyond the room, beyond the woman's schemes, beyond the limits of what anyone thought you could be. She saw doors you haven't reached yet, rooms where your name will be spoken with reverence, victories you haven't claimed but are already written in the stars. She saw your name etched in places that can't be erased, not by envy, not by hate, not by any ritual born of spite. And she saw something else, a shield around you, woven from forces older than time, threads of light and strength that tie you to something sacred, something unbreakable. The woman who tried to harm you didn't just fail, she invited her own unraveling, a consequence she couldn't foresee, a weight she wasn't prepared to carry. She went home that night, but home wasn't home anymore. The lights dimmed when she walked through the door, flickering like they were afraid to stay on, casting shadows that seemed to move on their own. Her phone glitched again, showing your picture in a gallery she hadn't opened, your name in a message she hadn't typed, a notification that vanished when she tried to trace it. She tried to laugh it off, to tell herself it was nothing, just her imagination running wild. But the air felt heavy, like it was watching her, judging her, waiting for her to acknowledge the truth. She burned sage, the smoke rising in sharp, jagged spirals, curling into shapes that made her heart race. She chanted words she found in old books, words she thought would protect her, but the shadows didn't move. They lingered, stretching longer than they should, curling into corners where no light reached, watching her with eyes she couldn't see. She started hearing things, soft whispers, not your voice, but your name, slipping into her thoughts when she least expected it, echoing in the silence when she tried to sleep. She thought she could outrun it, but you can't outrun what you've called into your life. See, you're not ordinary. You might not feel it yet, might not see it when you look in the mirror, might not sense it in the quiet moments of your day. But there's a weight to your presence, a light that doesn't flicker no matter how hard someone tries to blow it out. The woman thought you were small, someone she could push aside, someone whose name she could drag through whispers and lies in dark corners where she thought no one would hear. She thought she could outsmart your destiny, bend it to her will, break it with her spite. But destiny doesn't bend to jealousy. It doesn't bow to malice. And you? You're wrapped in something stronger than her schemes, something she can't touch, something she can't even name, a force that moves with you, guards you, lifts you higher with every step you take. The seer tried to warn her. "This one is untouchable," she said, her voice steady but heavy with knowing, her eyes seeing beyond the woman's petty plans. "What you send out will come back to you, heavier than you can carry, sharper than you can bear." But the woman didn't listen. She thought she could keep going, keep plotting, keep whispering your name in places where she thought she held power. She didn't know that every word she spoke was tying a knot around her own life, pulling tighter with every syllable, weaving a web she couldn't escape. Now, she's seeing signs she can't ignore. A bird circling her house too long, its eyes locked on her through the window, unblinking, unafraid, as if it knew her secrets. A shadow that moves when no one's there, stretching across the floor like a warning, curling around her like a judgment. A chill in rooms that used to feel warm, a cold that settles into her bones and won't leave, no matter how many blankets she piles on. She tells herself it's nothing, but her hands shake when she lights another candle, her voice trembles when she tries to speak, her heart races when she hears your name in the wind. She's gone to others, people who burn herbs, people who read signs, people who claim to know the unseen, but no one can help her. Because what she's facing isn't a spell. It's justice. It's what happens when you try to break what's been divinely built, when you try to dim a light that was meant to shine. You might feel like you've been through too much. Like the world has pressed down on you, tried to keep you small, tried to make you doubt your own strength, your own worth. But what you don't see is how every step you've taken, every moment you kept going, every time you chose to rise despite the weight, was building something unstoppable. You didn't know it, but the universe was watching, taking note of every tear you shed, every doubt you pushed through, every moment you chose kindness over anger, grace over revenge. Every time you kept walking, it was adding layers to your strength, weaving a shield around you that no one can pierce, a light that no one can dim. And now, those layers are shining, pushing back anything that tries to stand in your way, clearing the path for what's coming, lighting the way for what's yours. The woman who went against you is learning this the hard way. She thought she could whisper your name in dark corners and walk away clean, her hands unstained, her heart untouched. But the corners aren't dark anymore. The light you carry is spilling into every space she tried to hide in, illuminating the truth she thought she could bury, exposing the lies she thought she could keep secret. She's hearing your name in places she didn't expect, on her phone, in her dreams, in conversations she can't escape, in the quiet moments when she's alone with her thoughts. She's seeing your face in moments she can't explain, a reflection in a window, a flicker on a screen, a shadow that feels too familiar, too alive. And every time she tries to speak against you, her words turn to ash, her voice catches, her breath shortens, as if the air itself is refusing to carry her lies. She's tried to fix it, gone back to the seer, begged for answers, burned every herb she could find, chanted every word she could remember, sought out every healer she could afford. But nothing works. Because you can't undo what's been set in motion. The seer warned her, you touched something sacred. You tried to break what was built to stand, to shine, to rise. She didn't believe it at first, but now she's living it. Her life is unraveling, not because you wished it, not because you fought back, but because the universe doesn't let the innocent fall, doesn't let the chosen be dimmed. You're not just surviving, you're rising. You might not see it yet, might not feel it in every moment, but the signs are there, quiet at first, but growing louder. The way things are starting to line up for you, like pieces falling into place after years of being scattered, like a puzzle you didn't know you were solving. The way people are looking at you differently, speaking your name with respect instead of doubt, curiosity instead of dismissal, awe instead of indifference. The way doors are creaking open, ones you thought were locked forever, ones you didn't even know existed, ones that were waiting for the right moment to swing wide. It's not random. It's not luck. It's what happens when someone tries to block your path and the universe clears it instead, paving it with light, lining it with opportunities you didn't have to chase, blessings you didn't have to beg for. The woman who tried to harm you is running out of moves. She's looking over her shoulder, jumping at shadows, waking up to noises that don't exist, footsteps in empty rooms, whispers in the silence, a knock at the door when no one's there, a creak in the floorboards when she's alone. She thought she could write your story, decide your ending, erase your name from the places it was meant to be. But the pen was never in her hands. Your story was written long before she knew you, sealed in places she can't reach, guarded by forces she can't name, forces that move with purpose, with precision, with a power she can't comprehend. She's seeing it now, in the way her plans crumble like dust, the way her words fall flat, the way her own reflection doesn't feel like hers anymore, as if the mirror itself is turning against her. She's tried to run, to hide, to undo what she started, but the truth is chasing her, relentless and unyielding, a force that won't stop until the balance is restored. The seer didn't just see your protection. She saw what's coming for you, and it shook her to her core, not with fear, but with reverence. She saw your name on papers, documents that carry weight, contracts that open doors, letters that change lives, words that mark the beginning of something new. She saw you standing in rooms where no one expected you to be, speaking words that silence doubters, shining in ways that make others pause, take notice, remember your name. She saw opportunities circling back, blessings that were delayed now rushing toward you like a river breaking free, unstoppable and fierce. She saw you surrounded by a glow that no one can touch, a light that grows brighter with every step you take, every choice you make, every moment you choose to keep going. And that's what scared her, not just that you're protected, but that you're chosen. Chosen for something bigger, something no one can steal, something no one can stop, something written in the stars long before you were born. The woman's life is unraveling now, and she knows it. She's not sleeping anymore. She's checking her locks, lighting candles that burn out too fast, saying words that don't work, words that feel empty the moment they leave her lips. She thought she could control you, but now she can't even control her own peace, her own thoughts, her own space. Every time she thinks of you, something in her world shifts, a plan falls apart, a door closes, a friend steps back without explanation, their eyes avoiding hers as if they sense the weight she carries. She's starting to see it. She didn't just lose the game, she invited something she can't undo, something that grows stronger with every moment she refuses to let it go. She's seeing signs she can't ignore, a glass that shatters when she says your name, a light that flickers when she thinks of you, a dream where your face glows and hers fades into nothing, a shadow that follows her even in the daylight. She's tried to run from it, to hide, to undo what she started, but the truth is chasing her, and it's faster than she is, stronger than she is, louder than she could ever be. You're stepping into a new chapter, one where the weight of the past falls away, where the scars you've carried become badges of strength, proof of what you've survived, what you've overcome. The people who doubted you are starting to see you clearly, their whispers turning to questions, their questions turning to awe, their awe turning to respect. Doors are opening, not because you forced them, not because you begged, but because they were always meant to open for you, because the universe has been waiting for the right moment to push them wide. Opportunities are forming, connections are building, and the things you lost are coming back stronger, brighter, better, as if they were never truly gone, only waiting for you to be ready. This isn't about revenge, it's about restoration, about the universe stepping in to set things right, to balance what was thrown off by someone's envy, someone's spite. The woman who tried to break you is living in a world that's turning against her. She sees it in the way her plans unravel, the way her words lose their weight, the way her own reflection feels foreign, as if it's judging her, as if it knows what she did. She's gone back to the seer, begged for a way out, burned every herb she could find, chanted every word she could remember, sought out every healer she could afford, every ritual she could try. But nothing works. The seer won't see her again, won't speak her name, won't touch the energy she brought into that room. The seer knows what she saw: your path is untouchable, your light is unbreakable, your future is unstoppable. The woman thought she could play with your destiny, but she didn't know she was playing with fire, a fire that doesn't burn you, but turns back on anyone who tries to wield it, who tries to twist it to their will. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. You might not feel it every day, might not see it in every moment, but it's happening, quiet at first, but growing louder, stronger, clearer. The universe is moving pieces for you, aligning things you can't yet see, clearing paths you didn't know you'd walk, opening doors you didn't know you'd enter. The woman who tried to stop you is watching it happen, and there's nothing she can do to change it. She's hearing your name in places she thought she owned, seeing your light in spaces she thought she controlled, feeling your presence in moments she thought she could escape. And every time she tries to push back, the universe pushes harder, reminding her that you can't touch what's been divinely claimed, can't dim what's been destined to shine. Your path was never meant to be easy, but it was always meant to be yours. The struggles you've faced, the doubts you've carried, the moments you felt small, they were all part of something bigger, shaping you, strengthening you, preparing you for what's coming. And what's coming is bigger than anything the woman could have imagined, bigger than anything you might have dreamed. The seer saw it, your name, your light, your future. She saw you standing tall in places that scare the people who tried to break you, surrounded by a glow that no one can touch, a light that grows brighter with every step you take, every choice you make, every moment you choose to keep going despite the weight, despite the pain, despite the doubt. The woman who wanted to see you fall is now falling herself, not because you fought her, not because you cursed her, not because you lifted a finger, but because the universe doesn't let the innocent be harmed, doesn't let the chosen be dimmed. She thought she could rewrite your story, but all she did was reveal your strength, amplify your light, awaken your destiny. She thought she could erase your name, but now it's louder than ever, echoing in places she can't reach, shining in spaces she can't dim, traveling to rooms she'll never enter. She thought she could dim your light, but now it's blinding, a beacon that draws the right people, the right moments, the right opportunities to you, like moths to a flame they can't resist. You don't need to look back. You don't need to wonder why she did it. You don't need to carry her weight, her guilt, her consequences. Your path is clear now, and it's leading you somewhere she can't follow, somewhere she can't touch, somewhere she can't even imagine. The seer saw it all, your victories, your blessings, your rise. She saw the doors opening for you, the opportunities waiting, the light you carry growing stronger every day, every moment, every breath. And she knew, without a doubt, that you're not just here to survive. You're here to shine, to soar, to step into the greatness that was always yours. So let her run. Let her hide. Let her try to undo what she's done. It won't work. Your energy is bigger than her plans, your purpose is stronger than her hate, your future is brighter than she could ever imagine. Keep walking. Keep shining. The universe has your back, and it's moving everything into place for you. The woman who wanted to see you die is now watching you live, brighter, stronger, and unstoppable. And as you rise, the world will see what she couldn't. You were never meant to fall. You were meant to soar, to shine, to become everything you were destined to be.